Today we're going to focus on rotations. So let's everyone take a moment, kind of think about what that's going to feel like in our body. We're going to find rotation through the waistline, we're going to find rotation through the legs, through the arms, shoulders, and all kinds of good stuff together today. So let's get going, all right? We're going to start in a plank position. You want to have your hands shoulder width at the top of the mat. Step your feet back 4 inches apart parallel. We're going to lift off of the mat, collarbones are wide, reaching tailbone long from the crown of the head. Let's get those rotations started straight away. We're going to dip the right hip down as the right knee takes a baby bend, and then we're going to bring it back to center. And then dip the left hip down, left knee takes a baby bend, and bring it up back to center. So think about those rotations starting from the pelvis, keeping the collarbones wide. Little dip and rotate, back to center. Little dip and rotate, back to center. Lifting off the wrists, lifting off the shoulders, keeping the collarbones wide. Keep working. If that's aggressive, you can always come down onto your knees and you can dip the hips side to side like so. And that's going to give you really still the same waistline focus, the same rotation and opening up mobilization through the hips and the pelvis while we're still in a modified plank position. Either way, collarbones are wide, spine is long. Let's go for 4. This is 3, 2, bring it back to center, hold your plank whether you're on your toes or your knees for 5, for 4, we're going onto our left side in 3, 2, and bring both knees to the mat. All right, we're gonna be on our left side. I'm gonna be on the left forearm. You can always lower all the way down onto your side if that's more comfortable for you. And we're gonna go to some rotation through the top leg. That's the right leg here. So we're gonna float the leg up and out, opening the front side of the ankle, lengthening through the waistline. And what we're going to do is as the leg sweeps forward, we're gonna swivel into external rotation, keep the hips stacked, and then bring it back. We're gonna inhale, swivel the leg forward, and bring it back to parallel. If you're looking for extra challenge, you can float the bottom hip up off of the floor and or float the right arm up towards the sky. So the pelvis is quiet, the hips and shoulders stay stacked, and we're finding that rotation through the femur head, swiveling through the pelvis. The leg is nice and long. But if you're finding that you don't feel the connection of the legs to the deep abdominals, what I suggest is you pause here, give a tiny bend. You might not even see it to the back side of that leg, and you'll feel your abs catch the weight of the leg out in free space. So do what works for you, finding that swivel forward and swivel back. Let's layer on. So now we're parallel at the top, and I'm gonna reach the leg back a little bit more and go into internal rotation, but the hips are not invited to move. Sweep it forward, external rotation, sweep through parallel, back to internal rotation. Now my leg is behind the back, but it is with a long low back, so I'm not shortening the spine to kick the leg back really far. Sweeping back, drawing the navel up and in, lifting the bottom ribs. Last 2, swiveling through, reaching with that internal rotation. This is the last one forward, stay with it. We're going to swivel through, holding it back in internal rotation, holding and breathing for 5. Really lift with length for 4. For 3, this is 2. With control, arm comes down. With control, leg comes down. With control, if it's up, hip lowers down. All right, guys, let's continue with the rotation. I'm gonna grab the ball. You don't have to. So you can do it with just closed parallel legs, or you can do it with the playground ball in between your knees and your hips. It just helps me to find that inner thigh, deep abdominal connection. We're gonna go into an around the world. So my arms are at the mat to start with. We're gonna have our knees bent in a tabletop position, and we have the front side of our ankles open. From here, float the arms up to the sky. Think about lengthening the crown of the head, reaching it up and off the mat until your shoulder blades peel off of the mat with a neutral pelvis. So we don't want to add a bunch of wrinkles to the front side of our body. From here, we are going to tip the knees and the pelvis to the left. So I'm just moving my hands so you can see the demonstration. You can keep your hands up. So I've now raised the right hip up a little bit, left hip is tipped down. We're gonna swivel forward, legs extend a little bit, knee bend doesn't change. Bring it back through center, again to the left. Swiveling, and bring it back through center. It's okay for the hip to peel up, the right hip to peel up, but keep the right ribs quiet in this. Exhale, bring it back through center. If you don't have the ball, everyone keep working. You do it with a closed parallel like this. Either way, totally fine. If it's getting aggressive on the neck, hands can go behind the base of the skull, interlace the fingers, keeping the front body long. Try to keep those shoulder blades up. Mine were starting to dip down. Inhale as you swivel around. Exhale, bring it back up. This is 2. Try not to change the bend of the knee. We're opening the front side of the hip to sweep forward. Bring it back in. With control, lower the legs down to the mat. With control, lower the head down to the mat. And we're simply gonna roll onto our left side like this. So notice that I'm right at the front side of the mat. We're gonna go into a twisted teaser. So you wanna start with your left forearm down. Your right hand is on the floor or the mat for balance support. Legs are glued together in closed parallel, or you can still keep that playground ball between the knees and the hips, okay? This is what it's gonna look like if you need a visual aid if you've not done it before. We're gonna roll onto our pelvis like so. As the knees bend and we come up and we hit our teaser at the top, okay? And then we're gonna unwind and return to that side lying position. Inhale as you rise, floating up into your teaser, sitting on both sitting bones. And then we're going to lengthen back into our side lying position. Inhale, rotate and lift. Use the abdominals, talking to the inner thighs to bring the legs up. And then we're gonna unwind on an exhale. Inhale, lengthen and lift. If this feels aggressive to your body, everyone keep working at that if that felt good to you. If this is aggressive to your body, if you have knee injury, anything like that, that you don't want to do a big bend, you can do it like this. So your legs don't have to float off of the ground. You can do it in a more moderate orientation, exhaling to bring it up like this. Let's do 2 more, guys. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the legs floating. You can keep your legs down or up, entirely up to you. Unwind here. This is going to be the last one. We're going to hold it at the top. Hold it at the top for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and bring your hands and feet down. All right, guys. From here, we're going to scooch back a little bit on our mat. I had scooched way off the end. And we're going to go into a circus wheel. So this one can be a little bit tricky to get the hang of. So just watch if you need to for the first move, and then we can continue to do it together, okay? I'm gonna get that ball again just because it helps me activate the inner thigh pelvic floor. You don't need it. We're going to sit nice and tall. Lean with a flat back. Now the left arm is going to sweep behind me as my ribs rotate. So the arm and the ribs rotate at the same time. I'm lengthening back, and now I'm gonna use my deep abdominals to lift as I rotate back to start. Hand comes down to the right. Leaning with a flat back, right ribs rotate, open, right arm reaches long, long, flat back. Use the abs to bring you up and over, hand returns. It's a good time, isn't it? Sweeping back as we rotate. This one's from my buddy Kendall, who is my mentor, and she really likes to torture me sometimes. I'm sure you're enjoying her torture now with me. Lengthening as you rotate, bring it up and over. Sweeping back, guys, find that length in that extension. We're opening the heart to lift as we raise. Right arm sweeps back. I don't care how far you reach. Challenge your body while staying long. This is going to be the last one to the left. Arm opens, ribs open, lengthen the spine. Lift up and over with breath. Hand comes down. Last time to the right. Opening as you reach. Rotate the ribs. Pick it all the way up and bring it back to start. Beautiful. Okay, guys, we're gonna come up onto our feet now. So rise on up. You can go onto your knees first if that's better for you. We're gonna rise onto our feet and we're gonna go into a lunge with an arm rotation. So let's have our left foot forward. Our right foot is back in a natural step. We're in a parallel position with our feet. All 10 toes are shining forward. Starting to lose my little mic pack. Hang on one second. All right, there we go. We're going to stay nice and tall. Sternum is gonna stay over the pubic bone. Exhale, lower into your best lunge and hold. Hold and breathe. Knee is stretching long from the left hip, pelvis is level. We're gonna reach the right arm long to activate through the triceps, but it's not gonna move after that. Now, just like in that circus wheel, we're gonna inhale as we rotate, open the ribs to the side. This is the left arm moving now. Exhale, bring it back through center. Can you get a little bit lower in that lunge? Inhale as you rotate, opening the heart, opening the rib basket, hips shine forward. Exhale, back through center. Again, inhale as we rotate, right arm is reaching long, it's not resting. Open the ribs, exhale through center. Hold. Additional challenge, peel your left heel off the floor, not required. It's a major balance challenge as we swivel around and bring it back. You can use a chair or a wall next to you in the right hand if that assists you to get up onto the balls of both feet as we work. But you can always keep that left foot flat. Keep that right arm long and active. Keep the torso and the low back long and active. Last one here. We're gonna go into a squat with rotation and bring the hand up to the side. Left heel melts down if you had it up with control. Inhale and rise all the way up. Okay, so we're gonna go into a squat. Let's go into a first position today. So I like to actually start with my feet in closed parallel. I've been thinking about the upper inner thighs swiveling open, so the inner thighs are shining forward. Exhale, creasing at the hips like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Magnetize those heels together. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you think about the ribs lifting off the pelvis, pelvis lifting off the legs. Exhale, creasing as you lower, sitting bones broad and on the way down. Inhale as you raise. Let's go ahead and add rotation. I'm going to bring the arms in a circle in front of me. I'm going to exhale as I rotate. It's like you're wringing out a towel through the waistline. Inhale as you unwind all the way to standing. Other side, exhale as you rotate down, thinking about those inner thighs spiraling forward as the rib basket rotates. Inhale as you come on up. We're gonna exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we rise up. Just a few more here, guys. Exhale as you rotate down. Inhale as we come up. Last time to the left. Exhale, bow forward and rotate down. Inhale as you bring it up. Exhale, bow. Rotate. Inhale as you bring it up. Let's hold the next one down. Exhale, but we're gonna go through center. Exhale, lower into that squat. Keeping your heels peeled together, we are going to pick the heels up, only as far as you can, keeping your heels glued together. Now I'm going to think about the upper inner thighs rotating out. I don't want the knees to flap in the breeze. We want to keep the knees quiet. It's about the upper inner thighs rotating out. It might be kind of hard to see on camera. It's a small movement, but you should feel activation all the way up through the glute med, inner thighs, low belly, and deep abs. Keep the heels glued together to help you find that connection, swiveling out. So it's a small rotation like this. It's going outbound like this. Outbound like this. Go a little bit lower in that squat, find that rotation. Last 3. Keep the heels glued together for 2. Holding it out with intention, heels melt down. With intention, we're gonna inhale and rise all the way up. Let's take care of that lunge on the other side. So we are going to have our right foot forward. So take a natural step back with your left foot. From here, all 10 toes shine straight forward. And we're gonna lower down into your best lunge. Here we go. Exhale as you lower down. Knee is in front of the ankle crease, but it is behind the toes, aligned with big toe, second toe. Left arm goes long. And then we're gonna take the right arm up and over on an inhale as we rotate the ribs open to the side. Exhale, bring it through center. Inhale, up and over. Pelvis stays quiet as the ribs, arm, and shoulder rotate. Exhale through center. Try to keep that knee quiet. My knee really wants to track over the pinky toe as I do that rotation, so I have to fight to keep that midline of the body engaged. We're going to do this one more time with a flat foot. Find weight in that right heel. Sweep it around. Right arm comes up. From here, guys, if it's accessible to you, right heel picks up, not required. Left arm still reaches long. Pelvis is still level. Inhale as we rotate around. Exhale, bring it back through center. Inhale, rotate around. Exhale, back through center. Just a few more here, finding that length in that rotation. Exhaling through center. Let that right hip melt towards the floor. Can you get a little bit lower in that lunge for the last two? This is gonna be our last one now. Inhale, left arm is still reaching long. Don't let that guy just hang out. Bring it back through center. Hold, guys, with intention. Right heel melts down. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Okay, let's go ahead and get back onto the floor. We're gonna lower ourselves back down. We're gonna go into that twisted teaser first. So we're gonna lay at the front side of the mat. Right arm is down. And we are going to send the legs long. You can put the ball between the thighs if you have one. From here, we're gonna inhale as we rotate and rise up into that teaser position. And then we're gonna exhale as we unwind. Go ahead and inhale to rotate and lift. Find lots of length. Exhale as you bring it back down. If that's aggressive, remember you can always do the feet touching the floor as you rise up into that teaser position and come back down. So you choose what works for you today. We're gonna inhale as we reach and rise. Long body the whole time, finding lots of length and space through the abdomen as we rotate up into our teaser pose today. Rotating to rise. Ooh, it's a little bit wobbly up there for me sometimes. Unwind. Let's do two more here, guys. Inhale as you float and rise. Exhale as you bring it down. Last one. Inhale, bring it up. Hold and breathe at the top for 5. Plug the arms into the middle back. Find your length for 3, for 2. With control, bring the hands and the feet down. Let's go into that around the world on the other side. Another point where you can use that ball if you have one and if you choose to use it. We're gonna place it halfway between the knees and hips, or the knees and toes are glued together. All right, float the legs up into your tabletop position. Open the front side of your ankles. Float the hands up and overhead. Lengthen the spine up and off the floor. You can always interlace the fingers if that feels better for your body today. Find a heavy tailbone. So find lots of length in the spine. Peel those shoulder blades up. Now we're gonna tip the pelvis to the right. The knees follow. The ribs are quiet. Sweep it through the center. Exhale, bring it back through the middle. Inhale as you tip to the side. Exhale through the middle. Keeping a long spine. Using our deep abdominals, working with the inner thighs and hamstrings to help tip the pelvis, rotate down, and bring it back up. So we're using the deep abdominals to tip, we're using the hamstrings with the deep abdominals to extend, and the inner thighs with the hamstrings to bring it back. 2 more like that, guys. Swivel, lengthen, bring it back. Last one. Swivel, open the front side of the hips, bring it back with control. Lower the feet down and lower the head and arms down. Okay, let's go into that side lying leg rotation. So I'm gonna be on my right forearm now. The legs are stacked, my bottom knee is bent, and you can go ahead and keep your hip down or pick it up. It's up to you. What we're gonna do is float that top leg up. It's in parallel to start with, and then we are going to swivel that inner thigh forward, and then we're gonna swivel it back to parallel. So we wanna keep the torso quiet. We're swiveling through the dome of the pelvis and finding that rotation there. So we've got lots of rotations happening today, rotating all of our body, lengthening and reaching. If you're not feeling the connection to your abs, you can give yourself a little baby bend of that left leg. Little baby bend will help you access the connection to the abs. Inhale as you rotate and reach to parallel. Good. Swiveling forward. Let's layer on here. I'm just going to float the hip up. It's not required. I'm just going to demonstrate both versions. We're going to sweep the leg back as we go into internal, goes through parallel, and then comes forward and external. Goes through parallel and goes into internal. Through parallel and external, through parallel and internal. Lots of length. Reach the bottom ribs up. We're gonna do a few more like this, then we've got that hold back coming. Swiveling forward and swiveling back. Find a little more lift out of that shoulder that you have on the floor. Lengthen the leg back. It's an internal rotation. If it's aggressive on the neck, you can always have your head rotated to the floor. My leg is now behind the body just a little bit. It's internally rotated. I'm doing a little lift here for 3. We're gonna go into some hinges in 2. And this is the last one. All right, from here, guys, we're gonna come onto our knees and we're gonna do some rotations with a hinge. So we are going to have our knees 4 inches apart parallel. We're going to have our hands alongside the body, and then we're gonna lengthen with a flat back as if our body was in one diagonal line. So we wanna create a line from the knees through the hips, through the shoulders, through the crown of the head. All right, good. Bring your hands into prayer position. Send your psoas, the suspender-like abdominal muscles up to melt the tailbone down. So you wanna find that connection. Hands are in prayer. Now we're gonna inhale, rotate the ribs. Exhale, base of the ribs returns us to start. Inhale, rotate the ribs. Exhale, brings us back to start. Inhale as we rotate. Exhale, back to start. Just a few more here. Inhale as we rotate. Exhale, back to start. Last time to the right. Inhale as we rotate. Find more length in your lean. Exhale to start. Inhale here. Exhale here. And with control, bring it all the way up. Now, if this is uncomfortable on your knees, you can double your mat over, okay? From here, guys, we're gonna do that again, but we're gonna change it up. This time, we're gonna keep our hands at our sides. Lengthen with a long spine. Really reach, 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 reach. And now, we are going to rise the right arm up, and then we're gonna add a little side flexion to the right. So we're lengthening to the side and bring it back up. Again, to the right. And bring it back up. Keep working. I'm gonna show you a different angle so that you can see what's happening. Okay, keep working. All we're doing, we're still in that diagonal lean, and then we're arcing to the right as the left arm reaches long and bring it back up. So we're working in a couple planes of motion, right? So we're at that leaning diagonal back, and then we're working in side flexion 2. Last 2. This is gonna be our last one to the right. Bring it all the way up. Take a quick breath. We're gonna do it on the left side now. So we're gonna have our hands to our sides. We're gonna lengthen crown of head. It's in a diagonal line, just like the rest of the body. So we want knees, hips, shoulders, and head. If you're feeling it in the low back, it means what's happening is you're dumping the abs forward and sticking your booty out too far. So you wanna find that lift on the front and the length in the back. Here we go. Find that length, find that reach. Left arm raises up this time. And then we're going to arc to the left and bring it back through center. And then we're gonna arc to the left and bring it back through center. So it doesn't have to be a great big range of movement. You wanna find that lean the whole time. So you're challenging the core deeply, inner thighs, outer thighs, back line of the body, and then we're really focusing through this side waistline. Inhale, fanning open the ribs. Exhale, bring it back to start. 2 more like this. Inhaling, exhaling. Bring it all the way up with control, arm comes down, and return to upright. Okay, guys, let's go back into a plank. We're gonna do a rolling plank today, and you have options. You can do this on your hands, or you can do this on your elbows, okay? So you can do it on your hands like this. I'm gonna demonstrate a rolling plank on my hands and toes first. Hips and heels tip, and we transfer the weight into the left hand, and it looks like this. Notice my right foot is in front of the left. And then bring it back through center, tip the hips and heels the other way, and now the left foot is in front of the right. So it's literally a translation of your weight side to side. Keep working if that's a good challenge for you. If you need more support in the body or just less on the wrists, you can do it like this, where you're on your forearms as well. So either way works. We're just rotating the pelvis, rotating the hips, rotating the spine as we roll through center. I'm gonna go back onto the hands. It's entirely up to you which version works best for you. Let's hold the next one with the left hand or forearm down. Hold and breathe. We are going to arc over, bring it back. Now we're gonna rotate through and bring it back. Arc over again and bring it through. Dive through, bring it through, hold, right arm goes down, transfer through center, other side, left arm is up, we're gonna arc over, lifting the bottom ribs, bring it through, rounding and lifting as we dive through. Now we're gonna arc up and over, bring it through, diving through, bring it through, and go ahead and come back to the plank for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and bring both knees down. Good. We're gonna go into a little mermaid jump sequence to continue the rotation through the waistline and continue to keep the cardio going. So I'm seated on my left hip and my right leg is behind it. We're gonna do the kind where we go all the way down for rotation. We're just gonna do 8 on this side, okay? So let's get it done. You can have your forearms down if that is comfortable for your body, otherwise come up a bit higher. All right, guys, here we go. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, up and rotate the arms. Exhale, back down. Inhale, arms come up this time. Exhale, back down. Inhale, get that cardio really cranking, float the arms up. Exhale as you melt. Inhale, arms plug into the middle back. Rotate through the ribs, finding length in the spine, finding length in the left waistline, even as we come towards the floor. Try not to push away from the floor. Try to lift with your breath and your rotation. This is gonna be the last one, guys. Inhale, come up. Good. All right, we're gonna rise to our feet. We're gonna go into a little plie with rotation before we hit that mermaid on the other side, okay? So come into a wide second position. We're gonna exhale as we lower down into that plie. So lower down into your best plie. Sternum is over the pubic bone. You wanna stay as upright as possible. From here, we are going to float the arms out to the side. So we're at a wide T, plug the arms into the middle back. We're going to pick the right heel up as we rotate the ribs to the left, and then exhale, bring the heel down back through center. Pick the left heel up, rotate the ribs to the right, and back through center. Get a little bit lower in that plie. Right heel picks up, rotate, and bring it back down. Left heel picks up, rotate, and bring it back down. Arms stay in line with the torso. Sternum stays over the pubic bone. Finding that rotation, that inner thigh spiraling picks up your heel, and your rib rotating helps you find the deep ab connection while we hold the plie, toning through the legs and the glutes. A little bit more here. Can you get a little bit lower? Last 3. Right heel up, through center, left heel up, through center, hold, both heels up, inhale, rotate, exhale, center, inhale, rotate the ribs, exhale, center, get lower in your plie, inhale, rotate the ribs, exhale, center, inhale, rotate, exhale, center, last 2, keep those heels up if you can, inhale, rotate, exhale, center, inhale, rotate, hold through center, arms up, holding 5, holding 4, all 10 toes are active, plug the arms into the middle back, last 2, heels go down, inhale, gather, and rise all the way up. Let's get that mermaid jump done on the other side, guys, and then we stretch. You've made it already. So we have our left hip down. That's what we did. What am I talking about? Let's get those mermaid jumps done on the other side. This time on the right. We're gonna have the right hip down, left leg is back, and bring the forearms down if that's accessible to you. Here we go, 8 times. Inhale as you rise and rotate. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, rise and rotate, extra cardio, arms up. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Thinking about the breath, rising the body off of the mat rather than the hands pushing. So think of it as a lift from above rather than a push from below. Inhale as you rotate. Exhale, lower down. This is last two. Stay with me. We're gonna go into a stretch next, you guys. You made it. Inhale, bring it all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands down. All right, gang, let's go ahead and go into a downward facing dog with rotations. It's one of my favorite stretches and a great choice to do at the end of a workout or at the end of your day. All right, so here we go. Hands come wide onto the front side of the mat. Legs step back 4 inches apart, parallel. Straight away, we're gonna shift into our downward facing dog. Melting the heels down towards your mat. Bend the left knee. Float the left leg up and back. And now we can even melt that right heel down even more sincerely. Opening through the side body. Nice deep breath here for 3, 2. Unwind. Bring the left heel, or left foot down rather. Float the right knee up and back. Open the hips to the side. Melt the left heel to the floor. Reach the right knee long. Nice deep breath here. Bring the foot back down to the mat. Hold a nice downward facing dog here. Walk your feet forward towards your hands. Feet are 4 inches apart, parallel. Hands are gonna rise onto the shins, slowly stacking spaces between the vertebrae as you inhale. Rising all the way up, hands come up and overhead, opening your heart to the sky. Exhale with intention, bringing the arms to your sides, and maintain that posture till I see you tomorrow. Beautiful job, you guys.